If you're thinking about starting out as a general contractor or a subcontractor, or you're already operating as a contractor and you're thinking about expanding your business, you're probably already thinking about the risks that lay ahead and how these risks may impact on your business. Now, it's no doubt that the construction industry is one of the riskiest industries that you can be involved with, but fortunately, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how you can safeguard your business simply by ensuring that you have the relevant insurances in place that is not only going to protect you from liability, but it's also going to protect your bottom line profits. So my name is Aaron. I'm a chartered quantity surveyor and owner of Hayden Construction Services, a management consultant to the real estate development and construction sector. And so without further ado, let's get into the video. And so I mentioned there that the construction industry is one of the riskiest industries that you can be involved with, not only in terms of health and safety obligations that you have, but also the risk of financial loss if things don't work out on your construction project. And really, these risks present themselves mainly in two separate ways. The first one is third-party risks, and the second one is loss. And when we talk about third-party risks, we're talking about risks to third parties, and that could be, for example, injury or death that occurs on a construction site, or it could be damage of another person's property. And when we talk about loss, we're talking about financial loss due to theft or damage of plant and equipment that you own or are currently leasing. It could be loss due to latent defects, so defects that only present themselves further on after the project has been completed, or it could be loss due to design incompetence. And so if you're a general contractor, not only should you hold the relevant insurances, but any subcontractor that sets foot on your project should also hold the relevant contractor insurances. But before you do go ahead and sign up to any insurance policies, I do recommend that you speak to a professional within this area, such as a specialist insurance broker who will be able to tailor a solution specific to your exact needs. And so what types of insurances can you implement into your business? Well, the first one is public liability insurance. Now, these cover any third-party issues that we discussed earlier, such as injury or death on a construction project, or damage to a building that doesn't belong to you. For example, your client's building or a neighboring property that may be damaged throughout the course of the construction process. Third-party insurance makes sure that that is fully covered and that you are indemnified in the event that third-party loss occurs. The next one is employer's liability insurance. So if you're an employer and you hire staff, you'll need to make sure that you have employer's liability insurance in the event that your own employees suffer injury or death on a construction project. Now, both public liability insurance and employer's liability insurance usually tend to be mandatory for most companies, regardless of which industry you're operating in. The third type of insurance, which is specific to the construction industry, is Contractors All Risk Insurance. Now, this is quite a comprehensive insurance policy, and as I mentioned, it does tend to be specific to the construction industry. So, say for example, you're building a block of 10 apartments, and halfway through the construction process, severe damage occurs to the property and it needs to be rectified. Contractors All Risk Insurance indemnifies you for that loss. Contractors All Risk Insurance also covers you for any theft or damage to plant and equipment on your project, and the policy will cover you all the way up until project completion, until you've handed the property back over to the client for their occupation. And finally, we have professional indemnity insurance. Now, this is a tricky one because not everybody needs professional indemnity insurance. It's only really specific to contractors who have a design responsibility, such as design and build contractors, or specialist subcontractors who are responsible, again, for some form of design on a construction project. And so if you think about a design and build contractor, the client commissions for a building to be completed, but they don't want to be responsible for the design. So they hand the design over to the contractor for the contractor to design the building and also construct the building. Now, with design always comes risk, and with risk comes the potential for financial losses. And so being a design and build contractor, the responsibility for the design falls with you as the design and build contractor. And if anything goes wrong with that design, if there's any inefficiencies, or if there's any design clashes that lead to change orders or variations that are going to cost the client money, that responsibility falls with you, and it's going to be be yourself who bears the financial brunt of that. And this is where professional indemnity cover comes into play. So if you're a design and build contractor and you've just completed a design for a project, you get the go ahead, you're halfway through the construction process, you realize that there's a claim against you for design discrepancies or design clashes that mean that things need to be re-engineered and redesigned. And so if you're a design and build contractor, this is where professional indemnity comes into play, because if there are any discrepancies in your design and the client makes a claim against you for that design incompetence, this is when your professional indemnity insurance kicks in and you're indemnified under the policy to cover your client for any financial losses that may be incurred. Essentially, it's a form of protection that ensures that there's a policy in place that pays out to the client if there is any design negligence, and it means that you don't have to suffer any financial loss because you already have the policy in place to cover that. Professional indemnity cover is normally in place for those who have a design responsibility or for those who are providing technical support and consultancy advice to various different clients. And so it's also typically held by architects, structural engineers, project managers, quantity surveyors, all of those who are advising and giving technical advice on a construction project. And so as a design and build contractor, you may hire an architect to work on your behalf to help develop a design. And so this is why it's important to also ensure that both your architects, your structural engineers, and any other consultants that are working for you hold the relevant professional indemnity cover. It's something that I hold in my business. Fortunately, I haven't had a claim against me, so I can't speak specifically about how that process works in terms of a professional indemnity claim, but it will typically start with a dispute about services that have been provided. It will ultimately lead to a claim which will involve recovering financial loss, and that's when you would contact your professional indemnity provider. And if it does end up going through the court system, your professional indemnity will cover you for that and will pay out on any financial losses. And so that's it for today's video. I really hope you got something useful from that. Subscribe to my channel to watch more educational videos on the subjects of real estate development and construction. Once again, my name is Aaron. I'm a chartered quantity surveyor and owner of Hayden Construction Services and a management consultant to the real estate development and construction industry. And I'll see you in the next one.